The Edge at 11 starts now.
Tonight on The Edge, a creepy case out of Detroit. A teacher and a coach accused of posing as a chiropractor to get his hands on a student.
He claims it was just a massage. Fox News' Jessica Dubnak has the details.
The 54-year-old teacher allegedly used baby oil on the teen's back, then told him to flip over. It was time for the front. And for that, the teacher is on unpaid leave from Detroit Public Schools.
This is a clear case of a teacher grooming a young man.
54-year-old Nathan Tedford, a teacher and track coach at Detroit's East English Village Preparatory Academy. Back in April, he's accused of offering to take one of his 18-year-old male students to Chipotle. Instead, he took the teen to his Detroit home with the intent of a massage.
Complainant in this matter has a cognitive learning disability. He was 18 years old at the time. That's why the charges are what they are as a CSD-4.
Lisa Coyle with the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office pointing out in court he's a vulnerable young man with cognitive learning disabilities. Once the teen was at Tedford's home, the teacher and track coach used baby oil on the teen's lower back and told him it was time to massage the front.
He falsely presented himself as a chiropractor, that he had the ability to massage that the areas for soreness because of injury.
But chiropractor is not anywhere on his LinkedIn profile. It was a trick, and now he's facing 2 criminal sexual conduct charges in the 4th degree. But Tedford claims it was a massage for an injury.
Mr. Tedford did admit to the police he was touching his, I believe, his thigh for massaging it for injury.
Detroit Police Special Victims Unit is handling this one, and they're concerned about the potential for more victims. He worked in Detroit and other metro schools, even up into Flint Public Schools. They encourage other potential victims to come forward. Again, Nathan Tedford on unpaid leave. He was given a $30,000 cash bond, and apparently he has no criminal history. Reporting in Detroit, Jessica Dubnak on The Edge.
An apparent drive-by shooting on Detroit's west side leaves 2 women wounded.
Police say it was in response to a fight that happened the day before at a nearby park. As Fox News' Dave Spencer tells us, the search is on for 2 suspects.
Rather unusual scene played out for hours on Tuesday near the corner of Braille and Sawyer on Detroit's west side.
It's a nice area, it's a working class area. You know, gun violence is never the answer to anything.
Police responding to a report of multiple gunshots. Evidence markers litter the street as the crime scene grew bigger and bigger. Police say this was all the result of a drive-by shooting.
The suspects came down the street, fired multiple rounds into this location, and then fled. We are actively investigating this incident right now. We know it was a late model blue sedan that was involved.
We're told 2 women in their 20s were struck and then taken to the hospital.
We had 2 injured who were taken to a local hospital by ambulance. They're both in stable condition.
One person on scene who didn't want to go on camera told me that his house was struck by a stray bullet. He says he wasn't home at the time, but his wife and his child were. In addition to bullet shell casings, a number of firearms were left at the scene and taken by police as evidence. As for what led up to the shooting, DPD says it could be connected to an argument which led to a fight at a nearby park on Monday. They say there were no reported injuries from Monday's encounter.
This is possibly stemming from an incident yesterday. It was retaliatory. This is an isolated incident.
At this point, police only have a vague description of who they're looking for, basically 2 males in a blue sedan. If you have any information about who might be involved in the shooting, you're asked to call Detroit Police or Crime Stoppers. In Detroit, Dave Spencer on The Edge.
Detroit police on the hunt for a man wanted in connection to a domestic violence and kidnapping incident that left 2 people hurt. The investigation and police technology led officers to a home on Saran Street on the city's east side, where the suspect was believed to be hiding. A Sky Fox was over the scene this afternoon as SWAT teams moved in using a battering ram and tear gas to get inside. But the suspect turns out wasn't there. Police say this was a targeted attack and there is no threat to the public.
Well, a grisly scene in rural Monroe County. 2 teens are found shot to death. The discovery made this morning on Heiss Road in Raisinville Township. The victims, 1 male and 1 female, were both found with apparent gunshot wounds outside an older model Ford wagon. Monroe County deputies are actively investigating and say there is no danger to the community.
The intensifying conflict between Israel and Iran forcing President Trump to cut his G7 trip short.
The president meeting today with his national security team. Fox's Mike Emanuel has the latest.
Their program's going to be wiped out long before that. But they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
President Trump met with his national security team this afternoon, and a senior White House official says U.S. strikes against Iran are on the table. On his Truth Social, the president issued a warning to Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei, writing, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now." Adding in a separate post, quote, "We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran." Vice President J.D. Vance addressing, quote, "a lot of crazy stuff on social media," defending the president's position today on X and signaling Trump could choose to do more. He may decide he needs to take further action to end Iranian enrichment. That decision ultimately belongs to the president. Pennsylvania Democrat Senator John Fetterman is expressing support for U.S. involvement.
I've been saying, well, hell yes, for I think it's almost 6 weeks. Yeah, I think I might have been the first one to call, bomb, and destroy their nuclear facilities.
When asked by Fox about the possibility of regime change in Tehran, State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce was careful.
I'm certainly not going to remotely address that. It would require me to speculate or speak on behalf of the president, which I will not do.
French President Emmanuel Macron suggested President Trump was seeking a ceasefire, clearly irritating the president.
I didn't say I was looking for a ceasefire. That was Emmanuel, nice guy, but he doesn't get it right too often. But we're looking for better than a ceasefire.
President Trump has campaigned and governed against what he calls the endless stupid wars the U.S. has fought. But the prospects of a nuclear-armed Iranian regime has him considering doing more in the Middle East. At the White House, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
I own two eyes. I'm watching a missile travel over the neighborhood.
A Metro Detroit man finds himself in the middle of that ongoing battle between Israel and Iran. 38-year-old Yosef Klein, an attorney from Oak Park, was near Tel Aviv during a missile attack last Friday. Yosef says that buildings in Israel are required to have safe rooms, which double as bedrooms. He believes without those rooms, the death tolls would be in the hundreds of thousands. He also described what it's like when the sirens go off and the bombs hit.
A clear sound, like a doo, it's like a woo, and it's extraordinarily loud. Everybody hears it. It always looks like fireworks a little bit. And it's a scary thing, though, because I had never seen that many.
Yosef goes on to say another airstrike hit nearby just moments after talking with us. In the midst of the sirens going off, running to a safe room, and endless destruction, he says he and his family hope and pray for peace soon.
Developing news from Washington, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is recovering tonight after having an allergic reaction. She was hospitalized earlier today, transported by ambulance to a D.C. area hospital. A spokesperson says Noem is alert and recovering and was taken to the hospital out of an abundance of caution.
All right, let's talk about our weather. We're going to start off on another warm day tomorrow, but then it sounds like some storms are on the way.
Yeah, but when do they arrive? Weather Authority Rich Luderman has a timeline. Hey, Rich.
Hey there, Rooptown. We could see a couple of clusters of storms tomorrow, all in association of low pressure coming at us from Iowa. But the strongest storms that we'll see will likely be late in the afternoon and also early tomorrow evening. For the time being, it's pretty quiet here. There are a couple of clusters of thunder showers south of Battle Creek. In fact, you can see them on Sky Tracker. Here's Jackson. It's near the Michigan, Indiana, Ohio border region. Again, nothing severe, but nonetheless, we could see a stray shower overnight in parts of southeast Michigan. It was a warm, muggy day today. 92 Chicago. We made it to 86. Look at Grand Rapids, 89 degrees. The numbers at the airport, 86 and 64. Look at the records, 99 and 43. Nothing close to that. A lot of us are in the mid-70s. It's going to be mild and muggy for the rest of tonight. The dew points have been up big time over the last 24 hours. Thankfully, not a lot of breeze out there. 78 for us. 74 in Mount Pleasant, 65 there in Traverse City. Watch that area of low pressure moving through Iowa into northern Illinois, eventually across as Michigan. I stopped the animation 5 o'clock tomorrow, and you can see clusters of storms, especially just west of us, and those will quickly erase across there. So the best chance for some of those stronger storms late in the day tomorrow. Then Thursday, we're going to get a break from the heat and the humidity, but then it comes back big time for the weekend. Here's that bullseye for severe weather tomorrow. This area in brown avocado color from mid-Michigan down into central Indiana. But there it is. Strongest storms tomorrow late in the day. Gusty winds will be the main threat for the rest of tonight. Mild, muggy, a stray shower possible. Tomorrow's warm and muggy, up to 86. A couple of rounds of storms. And then notice the heat really kicks in for the weekend. 92, 94, even hotter for next week. Remember, always get the latest forecast. Take it with you with the Fox 2 Weather app. You can download it for free right now in the App Store or in Google Play. Roop, over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Rich.